Welcome back to the Eat for Endurance podcast. I'm Claire Shorenstein, sports dietitian, endurance athlete, and your guide to building a healthier and more supportive relationship with food, especially during busy or stressful seasons of life. I have another short bonus episode for you today. If you didn't catch the one from last week, pause this now and go back and listen. We talked about fueling during the off season, but it's also a really great review of key fueling principles that you can apply year round. So even if you aren't training for a race right now and don't have an official off season, I think you'll find what I had to say helpful. And we're also building on it today. So today we are shifting into a topic that many people struggle with, many people I work with and people I see around me, how to feel confidently during the holidays. The holiday season, of course, comes with disrupted routines, lots of social events, more sweets and festive foods, travel, stress, and often a sense of, how do I navigate all this without feeling out of control or slipping into old patterns? So I wanted to cover today some simple approaches to holiday fueling that will help you feel good, enjoy the foods you love, and maintain steady energy without imposing rigid rules. Before we get started, I just wanted to share again that my hats and stickers are still 25% off on the eatforendurance.com shop page. Plus, whenever you make a purchase, you get a free Make Carbs Great Again sticker. While supplies last, of course, I'm running out of those. The sale runs through December 20th, and it's a really easy way to support my free content while getting something fun for yourself or for a friend this holiday season. Again, visit the shop page of eatforendurance.com and use code December25 at checkout to get the deal. All right, let's get into today's mini topic. So here's the main thing I want you to know right off the bat. The holidays do not require a different nutrition approach. They just require more flexibility. Your body's needs do not suddenly change just because it's December or November. I mean, I'm recording here on December 2nd, so Thanksgiving's behind us, but if you're listening to this at a different time, and the holidays, of course, encompass Thanksgiving, they don't just change because of whatever time of year it is. You still need regular balanced meals and snacks, hydration throughout the day, adequate carbs and other nutrients to match your activity levels, adequate sleep, regular movement, all that jazz. Now, what does change is your environment. Your schedule might be unpredictable, travel might be disrupting your routine, holiday foods are kind of everywhere, or maybe not, kind of depends on you, right? But maybe they're kind of more around than you're used to. Your schedule might be a bit busier, you might be socializing more. You may have less control over the food that's around, over meal timing. There are a lot of things just generally a little bit less in your control. And emotions, both positive and negative, may be a bit heightened, again, depending on your situation. So the real work is adjusting your nutrition within this shifting context. So let's talk about the common things that athletes frequently are facing, things that they're kind of doing that get them into trouble during the holidays. And those two things are usually restriction and compensation. And this can really show up in a few ways. So maybe you're skipping or delaying meals earlier in the day. Maybe you're restricting eating before an event or at some point the day of you have some sort of social event, whether that's a big meal or a holiday party or whatever. Some people might be cutting back on carbs or specifically sugar or quote unquote processed foods or whatever you want to say there. You might be trying to quote be good before a big meal. So that's, kind of a sign of saying the same type of thing in different ways, right? People might be trying to exercise more to earn or burn off food. And maybe people are avoiding foods that they actually want to, quote, stay on track, right? Just basically another form of restriction. But when you do these things, often you end up feeling cranky or low energy, deprived, hungry at night, a little bit more stressed around food, digestion can be off, and you're more likely to overeat, not because you lack willpower, it's not like a discipline thing, but because your body needs more food or because you have been keeping this thing from yourself. So all to say, restriction almost always backfires, not something that I am having people kind of lean into, obviously. So let's talk about what does work. So even in the midst of holiday chaos, I feel like chaos is a word I've been using so frequently. And I've realized, just as a side note, chaos is just kind of part of life, isn't it? Especially if you have young kids. But anyways, back to it. Even in the midst of holiday chaos, you want to keep a few simple things in mind here. And these things may sound familiar from last week's episode. And if they do, it's because I'm literally repeating them. And I'm repeating them because, you know what? Repetition is important when it comes to important messages. So I still want you to be eating every 2 to 4 hours. I want you to try to eat breakfast within an hour or so of waking, whenever that may be. Don't skip meals, especially early in the day. I see this so frequently, the skipping or delaying of meals. And then it just like suddenly people are trying to catch up later and they can't, or they overeat. It's like a whole mess. We're aiming for those balanced meals throughout the day. So carbs, protein, fat, color if you can, meaning fruits and veg, fiber. And then of course, sprinkling in those snacks that have carbs plus protein, fat, and or fiber in there to make sure they are filling for you. You want to hydrate consistently. Remember, all fluids count. It does not have to be water, and you do not have to be constantly chugging electrolyte drinks either. You can drink tea, you can have coffee, milk, juice, seltzer, whatever, just not alcohol. Okay, that when I say all fluids count, it does not include alcohol, unfortunately. I want you to be moving in ways that feel good, not forced, and to always fuel your workouts adequately so you aren't starving afterwards and just kind of messing yourself up there. So all these habits, these are the things that are going to give you steady energy. They're going to prevent you from going into holiday meals feeling anxious and desperately hungry and cranky and, just not good stuff there. It allows you also to choose the foods you actually want and enjoy rather than kind of reacting to that, that hanger, that deprivation that doesn't lead you to good places. So one of the simplest things you really can do, and I already kind of touched on this, is to not show up to an event, a big meal or whatever it is, starving. A healthy appetite. Yes, of course. No one wants to eat things when they're not hungry. That's like the absolute worst, but no saving up calories. All right. Just eat normally throughout the day. And then 2 or 3 hours before an event, try to have a satiating snack. Again, that includes carbs and, some protein or something else. So maybe that's a Greek yogurt cup with berries and a little granola. Maybe you're doing peanut butter toast, a small sandwich, a smoothie with fruit and some protein in it, and a little fat, whatever. Maybe you're doing a very small portion of leftovers, whatever floats your boat, but you're getting something in there. And that's going to keep you going into that meal ravenous. And it helps you make more intentional choices, but without rigid rules. That's really what we're going for. We have this framework in place, this nice framework, but we have flexibility within the framework. Okay. That's really what I want you to keep in mind. Another holiday fueling strategy is including your favorite foods in your plan rather than obsessing over them and restricting them or eating them and beating yourself up about it afterwards. Obviously, this may be easier said than done for some of you. So if this doesn't feel possible, or if you are really struggling to eat something without feeling that guilt afterwards, then that's something you may need to explore further and perhaps even get some help with. But I want you to ask yourself, what foods do I look forward to all year that I can't normally get? What foods do I actually enjoy? And then intentionally make room for those things that you want. And that might look like, choosing the dessert you really want instead of the one you feel obligated to eat. You can skip foods that you don't care about, even if they're healthy. Like you're not going to die if you don't eat veggies for one meal, one day, whatever, 2 days. Maybe you'll start to not feel so great, but it's really not the end of the world. We're really trying to have you create a plate for yourself that's both satisfying and supportive. So think nutrient aware, but also flexible and satisfying. Okay. So just remember balance, like that nutritional balance. We really are looking at the overall pattern of your diet across the week. It's not like every single meal or every single day. All right. Another helpful strategy is to pause and just occasionally check in with your body. Maybe you're asking yourself, am I eating this because I want it or just because it's here in front of me? How's my body feel right now? Am I feeling overly full, which, it happens. It's fine. There are lots of things we can do to manage that. But just checking in occasionally with your body, not from a standpoint of I'm judging myself. It's just increasing your awareness. So again, you can be more intentional with the choices that you're making. And, sometimes you will choose to have something because it's there, and that's normal and that's fine. The key really is just staying connected to your own wants and needs, right? And making decisions based on that. If you're traveling, a few simple habits go a long way. personally, based on my own experiences with travel, but also professionally working with, so many athletes over my 11 plus years of being a dietitian, just a little bit of planning is so helpful. So maybe you're just packing a few snacks for yourself, whether it's like bars, trail mix, fruit, whatever, is super duper helpful. Of course, hydrating throughout the day, especially if you're flying, people can get off of their hydration routines. Eating breakfast, even if your morning is really hectic. So where that breakfast happens will depend on what's happening. But, again, not skipping those meals and just like keeping those basic fueling principles in mind and doing your very best to stick to them. Obviously, life happens and things get crazy, but, doing what you can. Convenience foods are absolutely allowed. I mean, always allowed, right? But sometimes they're really necessary. And that's the thing that keeps you fed. Remember, fed is best. It's not just for babies. That is for everybody. And if you need more help with travel nutrition, I have tons of resources there. I have a free download. I have a very detailed blog post. It's still my very most popular one on my website. Check it out if you haven't already. I have a whole podcast episode. I have a masterclass. So you can check out any of those resources if you need more support and more travel snack ideas. And lastly, I just want to chat about exercise for a minute over the holidays. So I know in that last bonus episode, we talked all about off-season fueling and how the off-season can look different for everybody depending on what's going on. Some people are putting in like a lot of hours, 10 hours, 8 hours, whatever of training. Other people are putting in a few hours before they kind of dive back into a training block. So this is very individual, but whatever movement you choose to do this time of year, it really should be supportive of what you actually want to do, right? It may not be your off season right now, but I'm hoping that whatever exercise you're doing is something you enjoy. It's supportive of your overall training goals. And it's not serving as compensation for what you're eating or what you're about to eat. It's something you want to do and it feels good in your body to do. So just wanted to throw that out there. Maybe you're prioritizing rest. I mean, rest and gentle movement, like walking, that's awesome too, right? So what we're really avoiding here, and I already mentioned this before, but is that whole earn and burn mindset, because that really erodes your relationship with food and movement. And we always really want to keep tabs on what is my relationship to movement like. We're looking out for red flags. If I'm sick or injured or whatever, something else is going on that gets in the way of my workout, I'm not able to do it. Like, what is my reaction, or how do I adjust? Am I able to be flexible, or I'm really rigid? Like, we always want to kind of keep an eye out for these things. And it's just so important to make sure that you have longevity in your sport and that you're going to stay healthy. And again, if you're struggling with any of this stuff, you can get help and support. There are people out there, whether it's a therapist or whether it's working with a dietitian like myself or whoever, people who specialize in working with athletes and can really help a lot. So please do reach out if you need more help with that. So to bring it all together, I mean, yeah, the holidays are awesome. They're fun, but they can also be stressful for many people. But food it really does not have to be one of those stressors. You can feel good. You can enjoy the foods you love. You can maintain supportive fueling habits. It doesn't have to be this like all or nothing thing where you're either like avoiding everything or just like going off the deep end and feeling like disgusting all the time and horrible because, you're eating no foods that are supporting, I don't know, like have fiber or other things that your body needs. So, just to recap, keep your baseline fueling structure in place, make adjustments based on your activity levels and whatever else is going on in your day, right? But just because it's Thanksgiving or your big holiday meal or you have your work holiday function, I mean, that really shouldn't drastically change how you eat. You're not going to just eat some lettuce leaves for lunch and save up for some huge meal, maybe you're not going to have like, a huge slice of cake with your lunch. I mean, I don't know, maybe, I guess you can do whatever you want, but all to say, like, you're going to eat fairly balanced meals and snacks leading up to whatever's going on. Avoiding restriction and compensation, like I said, again, you might need some extra help here if this is hard for you. I want you to allow holiday foods to be part of the plan. Like, just make it part of the plan so you are expecting it, you are looking forward to it, rather than constantly trying to avoid them. Many holiday foods, like if we're talking desserts, hey, that's carbohydrate. Awesome. That's going to help you reach your carbohydrate totals for the day. So sweet. Like for Thanksgiving, for me, I had some key lime pie, I had some pumpkin pie. That helped me meet my carb goals, along with the stuffing and the mashed potatoes, actually 2 times mashed potatoes, the bread. Yeah, we got a lot of great carbs going on. So yeah, make it part of your plan. Move in a way that feels good to you, that is supportive of your health and your training goals. It should not be punishment. It should not be forced. Hopefully it never is, but especially now. And of course, give yourself some grace, when things don't go exactly to plan, because, life. I just came off of 5 weeks of someone in my household being sick constantly. So yes, lots of things did not go to plan. Lots of workouts were missed. Food was all over the place. Well, we did a pretty good job, but all to say, life happens. Anyways, this is all part of the type of framework I teach inside my membership. It's what I use with my one-on-one clients as well. But of course, with more details and individualization, of course. If you want to go deeper into both holiday and off-season fueling, I uploaded my full masterclass recording, The Athlete's Guide to Holiday and Off-Season Fueling, inside my membership, Fuel for Life Crew. You can join that for just $30 a month and get access to this workshop, my full resource library, which has, I don't even know how many masterclasses we have, 10, 8, I don't know. We have a lot. Tons of downloads, lots of great stuff, and of course, direct support from me and our entire community within our private Slack channel. It's such a fun group. It runs year round. You can hop in whenever you want. You can leave whenever you want. It's a great no commitment way to learn from me and from your peers, and you can read all about it, including testimonials from current members, on my website, eatforendurance.com, if you're interested. And if you want to go all in and really level up your nutrition and health, I have a limited number of spots left for new one-to-one clients to start in January. You can find all the information about my 3 and 6 month programs, as well as tons of testimonials from my past clients on eatforendurance.com. Spots are filling up fast, so be sure to fill out a new client inquiry form now if you're interested, and I can get you on my schedule ASAP for a free discovery call to make sure we're a good fit. Thank you so much for listening to these bonus episodes. I hope you like them. And if you're enjoying the show, do make sure you follow, subscribe, wherever you listen or watch, so you don't miss my next episode coming out sometime next month. I'm not sure when it's going to be. It'll probably be the first or second week of January. And I have a couple episodes lined up that are great. And of course, I always love hearing from you guys. So if you have topic requests or guests you want to see in my show or any feedback at all, I would absolutely love to hear from you. You can email me, claire@eatforendurance.com. I would also be so grateful if you could share my show on share my show on social media or with a friend, and rate and review it wherever you get your shows. I appreciate you all. I hope you have a wonderful, well-fueled holiday season, and I will see you all soon.